It's time. I've been getting requests for this video for a long time. Today, we're going to be talking about Catasetum. Maybe you don't have one, but I tell you what, they are easy, they are beautiful, and within 12 minutes, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know to master the mysterious Catasetum. Okay, here we go. This is the only really blooming Catasetum I have right now. Very unique, very pretty. You can see it's kind of coming out of the, see there's a bulb looking thing, and out of the bulb looking thing there's leaves, and out of the leaves there's a little spike. I'm sorry, out of the bulb there's a little spike, and then there it is. They're very unique, very cool. I'm a big fan. Bigger, really, they're one of my favorite orchids at this point. They're so different, so unique. um, so let's talk about the how this is set up. So there is a bulb part, a leaf part, and this part. That's very scientific. Let's talk about how to grow them. Let me get another catasetum here. Okay, so growing catasetum, I've done it terribly for a couple years, but there's just a couple little things you need to do right. And if you do it right, you're going to have a table again of, I mean, look at all those things. They're all happy, they're all green, they're all blooming, and it's really easy. Once you do a couple things right, you're in good shape. So what happens is, and this is very unique to Catasetum, in winter, this thing goes completely dormant. It does not grow, it doesn't want any water, it doesn't want any fertilizer, not really, maybe a sprinkle. And it's like these bulbs. I've seen some people just take the bulb, take all the roots, all just with the bulb, and just like throw it on a table. And then you'll see in the spring it starts to sprout leaves again. So it literally, it's a weird plant in that sense. It looks like a, I don't know, like a little cigar looking thing. And then it starts growing again in the spring. So the way this works is it's not overly complicated. You do not give it any water, I would say from like Thanksgiving until whatever, early, late January, around there. And then at that point, you what's going to start happening is you're going to start to see roots coming down in the media, and you're going to start seeing leaves grow up. Now, the very, very, very important thing is you do not want to water the catasetum until the roots and the leaves are around 4 inches. And why is that? Because the roots are not going down to find water. Really, they're growing in order to be prepared for the rainy season. So when the rainy season does show up, the roots are there so it can suck up all this water. Because once you hit spring, summer, this thing wants to be soaking wet to the point where I've seen some people where it's almost literally soaking in water. It wants a ton of fertilizer. I take literally a handful of slow release fertilizer, right? Like this, boom, it's like a 1/4 inch on top of the media here. So a tremendous amount of water, a tremendous amount of fertilizer during its growing season. Now it's early October now, and the growing season is slowing down, and the leaves are not growing like they were. And I'm laying back on the water and fertilizer a little bit. But those are the main points. Let's move on. This is a long, like I said before, it is important to pot these in such a way that they get a lot of water and a lot of fertilizer once they start growing. So again, you're going to see no growth. It's just like a stick. It's just like a little round nothing. You're going to see roots and leaves start to come out. That's usually when I start to plant it in this thing. Now this is I'm not the only one that came up with this, but this is a secret way of planting this. So you can put sphagnum moss, or this is tree fern fiber. You want something that holds a lot of water. And you see down here, it's like, so down in this part, it actually holds water. It's a water reservoir. If it goes higher than that, it starts to come out of the hole. So it's just like a plastic jug type thing I bought on Amazon, and then I took a soldering iron and I made little holes, right? So it's like it has a little reservoir down here. So that gives you an idea of how much water these things need. They need so much water. They want standing water at the bottom of their pot. So you don't have to do it this way, but I've had a lot of success online. You're going to talk to a lot of people. Wow, this has a lot of buds on it. Holy cow. Uh, that's cool. Um, so yes, that's like the secret little way to get these things as much water as possible. I try to keep them soaking, 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 soaking wet, and it is definitely working. I mean, this one's done blooming, but that's again, I wanted to give you an idea of what these things look like. This one is coming kind of out of the top. So what's going to happen is this is going to fall off. All the leaves are going to fall off. And then the roots at the bottom do nothing. They're rotted. They're gone. You can really cut off all of the roots. The only roots that I keep on the bottom is just enough to anchor it in the pot for next year. So after all these things bloom in the winter, I pull them all out of all of these pots. All the leaves will be gone. I'll cut off enough roots where I still have enough to anchor it for next season into something like this. Now, Catasetum have male and female flowers. And this is very unique to the Catasetum or the orchid family, the orchid world. So what I mean by that is, and this is very frustrating, you can have a little guy blooming and you're so excited and let's go, I can't wait for my Catasetum flower. And it finishes growing and all you see is this like weird little thick green ugly thing that doesn't look like a flower. That's a female flower. This is a male flower. The male flowers are very showy, so it's hard to say which one you're going to get. It's very frustrating. It's like the lottery. Now, if you ever want to truly talk to the master of all orchids, of all Catasetum orchids. The guy's name is Fred Clarke, Clarke. Definitely look him up. I mean, he's like the grand master of Catasetum. He hybridizes them. He's the man. And I was listening to him, and he said, and remember, he's the man. And he said that the secret to getting male flowers is each year you divide the catasetum, because what that does is it stresses it so much that it creates the need for it to produce a male flower. I don't understand the biology behind that, but according to him, that is what works. And I would listen to Fred, the man. Okay, now let's talk about a really big negative of Catasetum. Really big. In fact, a lot of people don't even grow them because of this. It's not a good thing. People don't like it. They attract critters, bugs. Like I don't know what, unbelievable. Mites, spider mites. If you have Catasetum, you have spider mites. They attract them like a magnet. I have to spray them proactively, even before the spider mites are there. Otherwise, you'll have spider mites, which are hard to kill, and then they're everywhere, and it's horrible. And so, look at this guy. Look at this ugliness. So those are, what are they called? Mealyworms? Now, believe it or not, luckily, they're all dead. What you're seeing there are dead ones. I sprayed it. They're dead, but they don't like fall off when you kill them. But these mealyworms, I've been fighting them all summer. They're not, no, mealy bugs. That's what they're called, mealy bugs. But this thing has one, two, three, four. Wow, that's cool. Three, four spikes. Look at the size of this thing. Catasetum are really cool and easy. Like people are like, what's the secret? I'm like, don't water them in the winter and water them a lot in the summer, period. And you have to treat them for bugs because it's going to happen. Honestly, that's one of the biggest ones, the biggest issues in my opinion. Look at those buds. Ooh, look at those. cool. Okay, here's a good example of it being done incorrectly. So I started watering this too early. The roots weren't long enough, the leaves weren't big enough. So I started doing this one too early, which rotted the roots. I don't know if you can see that. It rotted the roots. They weren't long enough in order to thrive. So if there's no roots, the plant is going to be very weak. So you're seeing a very weak plant, and with a very weak plant, you're probably not going to get any buds or flowers. And again, there are mealybugs everywhere. Ugh. I use Bio Advanced 3-in-1, and it says that it's 4 mealybugs. I'll have to spray them again when I'm done here. Here's a little industry secret. So, like I said, they like to be very, very wet. So if I have nothing else to do and I'm out in my Orchid Oasis, just enjoying God's country, and I have a little extra time, what I'll do is I will take a Catasetum like this, and I will dunk it in a big thing of water. So right now it's bubbling intensely. So bubble, 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 right? So we're getting all, oh, you see that? How cool. Okay, so you can see the extra water coming out. There's a reservoir at the bottom that's keeping water in there. And that's a good way to make sure it's super mega wet. Okay, like I was saying before, in order to initiate male flowers, I'm telling you, if you start getting into Catasetum, you're going to get a few female flowers and get so frustrated. So again, here's an example, right? Here's a bulb and here's a bulb. So if you cut it, right, in between those two bulbs, they'll be fine. It'll be fine. But it will initiate. And I found this to be the case because I did it last year. And oh my goodness, these mealybugs. I did it last year and it worked. I haven't seen a female flower yet. This is not a Catasetum. But man, it is a gigantic Vanda. Gigantic. So we have 1, 2, bunch, 3, 4. I don't know if there's probably more coming. But seriously, that is cool. And people say, well, how do you do that, Dave? That is like a freakishly large Vanda. Lots of water. I water it every day. You want it to be hot. You really have to be like in Florida, or I guess maybe Southern California, Texas. Tons of fertilizer, tons of water, tons of heat, time. And before you know it, oh, this thing must weigh 20 pounds. Okay, now I'm just showing off. Look at how happy everything is here. It is, what is it, early October, mid-October. Man, this is like prime time. Lots of Cattleya. I like this hangy thing I got. It's from a greenhouse store. But, again, when I'm out working on this stuff, it's just, I'm a Christian. It's just like God is speaking to me. He's like, hey, Dave, check this out. Look what I can do. I am getting an extension on the lanai in this direction. So it will, like, kind of through this door, we'll get an extension because there's just not enough room. These things are smashed together. I'm getting diseases because they don't have enough airflow. But I will keep you up to date. Very, very exciting.